Welcome to the OnePride podcast. We talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and we got a good show for you folks today. We're going to get into the latest Detroit Lions injury news, Lions news, rumors. We're going to be talking about Lions versus the Jacksonville Jaguars breakdown, and we do QA and take questions from you. Why is that? Because that's what this show is all about. I always appreciate everybody commenting on my videos, and it gives me an opportunity to give back to you guys and talk to everybody that supports the channel. So I truly do appreciate it. If you can go ahead and smash that like button, that would be really nice, and it does help out there. We got Lady Smith in the building, Dennis Tydick, Shift God, Sam, Steven Pickworth, Rocky Watts, James Andrew, Villain Squad, and Shift God. What's up, Villain Squad? Appreciate you in the building. Go ahead and get after it. Let's get into the latest injury news first. Taylor Decker, questionable to play. He practiced yesterday. I assume he's going to be good to go. Look, this is a team in Jacksonville. In my opinion, if you're dinged up, I would say rest the player. That's just from the Lions are the best team in football, and Jacksonville Jaguars could be considered the worst team in football, at least the worst three teams. So give an opportunity for the Lions. They could rest some players. But I do think Taylor Decker plays. Now, look, if Taylor Decker plays, it's over, man. I mean, it's over even before he plays, but that's huge, right? The offensive line, we've seen it struggle last week, and if you were to have Taylor Decker there, I don't see the offensive line struggling really at all. I don't even see it struggling even, honestly, if he doesn't play in the game, okay? But he should be good to go. Sam Laporta, questionable with the shoulder. He's probably more of a game-time decision, and if I am head coach Dan Campbell, I am resting Sam Laporta. No reason to overdo it. We got other tight ends that can help out. We got so many weapons. He's dinged up. Let him rest. There's zero reason to play Sam Laporta, only if he's 100%. Hey, he's 100%, go out there. But if he's dealing with something on his shoulder still, no reason to put it out there. Also, Ifutu Melifonwu is getting close to return. Broderick Martin getting really close to return. That's great news for our Detroit Lions. Ifutu Melifonwu has been a player, at least last year, that was doing a lot of blitzes from the Sam linebacker position, as well as safety blitz or corner blitz. He was really good at that. He's good at containing. So with Iffy coming back, it's awesome, especially because Anthony Richardson for the Colts will be playing against the Lions, and maybe he can, if he could play that game. And obviously, Richardson's a mobile quarterback. Not a good quarterback, but a mobile quarterback. So maybe you could have him in there. Broderick Martin, depth player. Can't wait to see him back. John Kaminsky should be returning for the playoffs. Derek Barnes spoke to the media. He's trying. It's close to see if he can return maybe for the Super Bowl or an NFC Championship game. It's right there. Same with Aiden Hutchinson. So they're on that same track. It's less likely, though, Derek Barnes could play. That's what he said, but it's in the realm of possibility. Emmanuel Mosley is getting ready to be good to go as well. He is nearly healthy. The Lions, from a health perspective, are going in the right direction. Look, we got decimated in the beginning of this season. We did. We took a lot of injuries, but now, through this halfway through the season, now those players are going to start to come back to the Lions lineup right when we need them to, right when we're preparing for our playoff run. We're 8-1 right now, and we can get these guys, start to bring them back, on the field, get their feet wet a little bit, so when the playoffs are here, like, our team is absolutely strong. No doubt about it. My friend Raw Podcast, TA, Lions Talk by Raw Detroit. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He just made a video, talked about Carlton Davis. Should the Detroit Lions extend Carlton Davis? Make sure you check his video out. My answer to that question, I'm not going to break it down because he already did that, is yes. Why not? I know we got Ennis Rakestraw, and we drafted in the second round, but it's really difficult for me to find, at least for the Lions, to find a really good cornerback, and Carlton Davis has shown it that he's a really good cornerback. Our secondary is so much improved from last year, And it does have to do with the upgrade of talent, one being Carlton Davis. So I would say yes to that. So far, so good, right? All good news here for the Detroit Lions on the health front and looking forward. Our schedule is getting easier, folks. We are now, we have gotten past, in my opinion, the hard part of the schedule. That's it. I know we got the Bills at some point. Okay. At home. Remember, this is what we have coming up, folks. We did a lot of road games. Packers at home, Vikings at home, Bills at home. Those were probably the, teams that you got to worry about the most, I guess, left on the schedule. Chicago Bears at home, win. Chicago Bears on the road, win. Indianapolis Colts, win. Jacksonville, win. 49ers, we don't know what they're going to be the second last game of the year, but right now, if you look at it, win. Could the Lions, and I'm going to ask you right now in the comment section, could the Detroit Lions go 16-1? Is it possible that the Lions actually go 16-1? It's possible. I think right now, when you're looking at the win-loss, just looking at it, I think maybe at this point for a win, I think the floor for the Lions is 14 wins now. That's ludicrous. I believe that's the floor. The ceiling, 16 wins. So, just because of how the schedule's playing out, the health-wise, we're going in the right direction. It's just fantastic. And now, if the Lions could do that, you're going to get the first-round bye. You're going to have home field throughout the playoffs. You're going to go through Detroit to get to the playoffs. Remember, Dan Campbell said that 2 years ago. You're going to have to come through Detroit. And he was 100% right. 100% right. Lions are looking amazing. So far, so good. Let's get into Jared Goff. I heard this a lot after his performance against the Texans. First off, he did play bad. But the 5 interceptions sounds horrible. We've seen those interceptions. I would say 3 of those are kind of bunk a little bit. Mayor, 2.5, a little bit, right? The Hail Mary, come on. Wait, it was a Hail Mary. That doesn't count. It really doesn't. The tipped ball in the middle of the field where a bang, bang, bang linebacker got it, that was a weird one. That's where Jared Goff got hit and the ball just flew up like in the middle of the air and it landed in the linebacker's hand. I don't really count that one. I guess the first tipped interception, I can give a little bit of grief to Jared Goff. Maybe he should a little bit higher so it didn't get tipped. Other than that, again, it's a freak play. Honestly, folks, I don't know if maybe he was sick or his hand hurt. I'm not worried about Jared Goff. I'm really not. Everybody has a bad game. Everybody has a fluky game. We all do. If you ever played any sort of sport, I played football, I played baseball, track. Dude, I remember one day I was playing baseball and I struck out the whole time. I've never done it before. I didn't get one single hit. It was pathetic. It happens, right? It happens. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's get into the Detroit Lions versus the Jacksonville Jaguars breakdown, analysis, and prediction. I used to do the video. I stopped doing the videos now because I really don't think I need to spend 12 minutes on a video talking about a Lions victory. And so you notice I haven't been doing that. That's generally the reason why. And especially a game like this, do you really want to watch a video of a breaking down the Lions versus Jacksonville? Everybody's going to pick Detroit. So I'm going to just give you a couple stats here, and I'll give you my prediction, and then we'll get into QA for you guys. So let's go ahead and do a compare and contrast for the Lions, Detroit Lions offense versus the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Lions are second in the NFL with 36.1 points per game. Jaguars defense is 27th in the NFL, allowing 26.1. Super mismatch. They're one of the worst. We're one of the best. Lions are going to be putting up points. I suspect they're going to get into the 40s in this game. That's my suspicion. Lions will hit to the 40 mark. Total yards per game. Lions are 7th best in the NFL with 366.9. Third, Jaguars defense is 32nd in the NFL, allowing 390 yards a game. Lions are going to put up yards, I think, pass and run. Lions are one of the best offenses. The Jaguars' defense is one of the worst defenses. Huge mismatch. Passing yards per game. Lions is only 14th in the NFL with 219.6. And the Jaguars' defense, they allow 261.2. That's 30th in the NFL. So the Lions are mid-passing. The Jaguars are third worst in the NFL. Again, Jared Goff is probably going to have a field day. Let's get into rushing yards per game. Lions are 7th best in the NFL. They put up 147.3. The Jaguar defense is 21st in the NFL. They allow 129.4. Again, it's a big mismatch. Strength of the Lions offense, the weakness of the Jaguars defense. This is not even close. Lions are going to drop bombs like it's Vietnam on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, all they got to really do is show up. Now let's switch it around. Let's go with the Lions defense here versus the Jags offense. Jags offense, this is with Trevor Lawrence. And by the way, he's not playing in this game. We got Mac Jones, who look like butt cheeks versus the Vikings. Horrible. Jaguars offense, so far this year, they put up 20.2 points per game, 21st in the NFL. Lions defense only allows 19 points per game, 8th best in the NFL. Again, if you want to beat the Lions, you're going to have to put up more than 20. So big problem for the Jacksonville Jaguar offense. They're putting up 300 yards, 302.9 yards per game. That's 25th best in the NFL. The Lions defense actually, they allow a lot of yards. 345, that's 20th in the NFL. So you'll see a situation, maybe they get the yards in between the 20s, but they're not going to score. That's what the Lions defense has been doing. Okay, you get your chunk plays, but we're going to stop you to a field goal. Passing yards per game for Jacksonville is 195.2, 23rd in the NFL. Lions defense is allowing 244.2, 28th in the NFL. Again, we're allowing these passing yards, but they're not scoring, and that's going to leave you also to where the Lions defense is great, and that's the rush defense. Jaguars rushing yards, they're 21st in the NFL. They only put up 129.4. Lions rush defense is amazing. They only allow 100.8, 6th in the NFL. And the reason it's only 100 is a lot of the situations so far this year didn't really matter because the Lions were up. So you look at a lot of these defensive stats, too, for Detroit. The Lions have been so up that teams has kind of just haven't been throwing and doing whatever they can to kind of get any sort of play. The teams are starting to get a little bit, nervous. Lions turnovers is great. Can you actually believe it? They're +5. That's 5th in the NFL, and we threw 5 interceptions. So even though we threw 5 interceptions, we got 2 back, so we lost 3. We're still 5th best in the NFL. Jacksonville Jaguars is butt cheeks. They're -7 turnovers. They're turning the ball over left and right. They're not getting turnovers. That's 29th best in the NFL. Lions are smoking them. So with all doing the stats right there, let's do a prediction in the comments, and I want you guys to do your score prediction in the comments below. I got the Detroit Lions winning 42-13. I think this is a significant mismatch here. Hendon Hooker will be in the game in the 4th quarter, and they're gonna that's what we're gonna see in this game. This is gonna be easier than Tennessee Titans. The Jacksonville Jaguars offense is trash. Lions defense is really good. And we get turnovers left and right. This is a doomed disaster for Jacksonville. I haven't even checked what the ESPN predictor is, but it's probably in the 75 to 80%. The total over and under is 47.5. The Lions are favored by 13.5 points. Take the line. The Lions are favored by 13.5. Take that line. They're going to get more than that. Like I said, I have them 42-13. So I would take it. Detroit Grit says 45-12, very similar to me. Dragon says, yep, the 95 game, 44-0. We played Jacksonville, too, just last year? So that's interesting. Yes, great game tonight. And that is Washington Commanders versus Philly. Finally, a really good Thursday night game. I'm stoked for that game. I don't know about you guys. We got 38-10 by Patrick. 52-7. We eat good. 35-7 Lions. Shift God. I think that and I know people are saying 50 burger. I think the Lions easily could do a 50 burger, but I think this is a game where this is not a team that the Lions want to expose like Dallas or Seattle. I think they'll get in a situation where if they get into the 40s, like I was saying, they'll probably just start to run. They'll slow their offense down. They'll put in the backups. So that's why I don't think they get. And I think when you're facing a team like Jacksonville and their backup, it's just going to come a little bit easier, and then we'll have our backups in. We will. Scott, what's up, man? Appreciate you hitting me up on Facebook. It says, Lions 42, Jags 13. So, yep, that's what I got here, the exact same score prediction. We are on the same page right there. That seems to be what it is. Folks, if you got questions, I possibly have answers. It is the mailbag segment. You go ahead and put hashtag Lions. Put a question in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and select it, read it to you, shout it out, and answer the question. That's what this video is all about. So right now in the comments, throw questions in there. And guess what? If you're watching this after the fact, put questions in the comments because I can always bring it back to the next live show or talk about it on Sunday when I'm live as well. So throw that in there. Let's get it done. First question here for Patrick G. Buffy says, give Reynolds some carries for sure in this game. I absolutely, Patrick, see that Reynolds going to get some carries, maybe Sione Vaki too in the fourth quarter. They'll run probably till the third quarter. That's what we've seen so far, even with the Tennessee Titans when they play their stars into the fourth. So I think you'll see some Craig Reynolds in there for sure, and that's a good thing. But it's difficult because you have to share carries between Gibbs and Montgomery, and so it's not like these guys are getting big-time carries every single game. But Craig Reynolds get in there for sure. MB, are you scared of the Eagles or Commanders? I'm personally not scared of any team right now in the NFL. I think that the teams that would put up, honestly, if there's one team and it's in AFC, it's the Baltimore Ravens. That's really it. But their defense has significantly got worse than last year. I think the Lions could beat Kansas City. If they're playing at the Super Bowl, I think the Lions could beat them. I think the Lions can beat the Washington Commanders, and I think the Lions could beat Philadelphia. You're going to have to come to Detroit. That's the thing. It's not like we're going there. They would have to come here. Next question here. How many sacks does Desarius Smith get on Sunday? I'll give him 1 sack. In the comments, how many sacks do you think that Smith will get? I'm going to go with 1. Hashtag Lions from James Janella. Lions, can we run the table rest of the season? It's possible, James. I'll say no. I think there'll be a fluke game, but they're going to be favored in every game this year. So if you're at the odds, James, I would say, yeah, they could run the table, but I just think there's always a fluky game. This fluky game almost happened to us from the Houston Texans. I think it's going to wake the Lions up probably for like a month. But maybe there's a fluky game for the Bills game or something like that. Just something happens. So I'll take under on that one, but the odds would probably say, yeah, they can. They 100% can. That sounds crazy as can be, but it is the truth. Next question here from the Villain Squad. Hashtag Lions, what do you think about signing Frank Clark for a playoff run? It depends because now we have players coming back from injury. So when you have Iffy coming back, Broderick Martin coming back, you potentially have Derek Barnes at the end of the season. Every time you're having these players come back, then you're going to have to release somebody on the team. I would ask Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. I would give that to them. I wouldn't suggest anything because I don't want. There's going to be some players that's going to get released soon when these players come back. And if you were to sign another player, that means another player is going to have to get released to keep it to 53, unless they do the practice squad. And he's not going to do that, right? Okay, hashtag Colts trap game. Anthony Richardson redeems himself against a good team after earlier criticism benching. I hope that's not the case. I don't think it's going to be the case. And I would say, I'm worried about the mobile quarterback. I'm not anymore. The Lions have shown me contain, and I got to tell you what, Joshua Pascal has been absolutely amazing containing the edge. You noticed last week that you weren't seeing the running back get out to the edge to the Lions defense and just go ham on us. Pascal has really helped out with that, and I think Smith is going to even help out more. And Mohamed, who we picked up in the practice squad a couple weeks ago. He's done a good job. So I'm honestly now not worried about the mobile quarterback. And Terrion Arnold is a really good tackler. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, I'm not worried about it. So I think that the Lions will steamroll the Colts. I mean, he's averaging less than 50% completion percentage, Anthony Richardson, and he's throwing picks galore. That's not going to work against the Detroit Lions, and especially if the Lions get ahead of them quick and they're going to have to, they can't do the run game. Say the Lions are up on them 17 points. Then they're going to force Richardson to throw the ball, pick, Tennessee Titans game all over again. That's kind of what I expect. Hashtag FGB, do you think that Zadarius Smith will be an effective piece of this defense? Yeah, just a nice little piece. He's not going to replace Aiden Hutchinson. He's not that. He's more of Marcus Davenport replacement. And that's great. You need pieces, and I like that. And it'll help out a little bit to get some pass rush. He's probably him and now Joshua Pascal is the best. And I'm actually not bad with those two combinations because Pascal has stepped up so much. I'm very confident now. I feel pretty good. And that's a testament to Pascal. We got to show this man some love. He's been stepping up. Would you put $20 on Craig Rounds for 20 yards? No, I'm not going to do that. No, I will not do that. That would be a difficult one. If I miss your question, again, just throw it in the comments. We will, get after it when I can. That's what it's all about. Question from Dragonor 209, hashtag Lions. Can't Terrion Arnold stop being so handsy? This is getting the PI. This is a fallacy, folks. The first 4 weeks of the season, Terrion Arnold had 7 pass interference calls. Since then, and this was last week, he only had 1. I don't think he even had a holding penalty defensively. He struggled in the beginning of the year. We got to understand he's getting better. 1 since week 4. Let's give him a break, folks. He is a rookie. For a rookie, I think he's playing well at the cornerback position. I don't know. I have been watching football for a long time, and I've seen corners here that we get, such as Darius Slay, who struggled mightily as a rookie. Way worse than what Terrion Arnold's doing. I think he's great. I want him to be less handsy. You're correct, and I'm with you on there. But I don't want him to be not aggressive. I like that. In the comments right now, grade how well Terrion Arnold is doing. A, B, C, D, or F. Next question here. With Carlton Davis getting the first interception to this quarterback room this year, do you see TA getting a pick? Yeah, I do. 100%. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, for sure. You got to understand, too, now teams are... You better be precise with the football and the Lions defense because you have so many players that are playmakers, and it's going to be worry quarterback. So eventually he's going to get it because it's like, okay, if we target Carlton Davis, there could be an interception. So we're going to go with Terrion Arnold, this rookie, and he's getting better every single game. So it's going to happen. It will happen. He had 5 interceptions in college. He's still learning. Every game for Terrion Arnold, he's getting better. Have you noticed that the secondary gets better every single week? It's taking a step forward. The secondary is difficult to get a cohesive unit when you have many players that were not together, and they came together, but now they're starting to get there. I told you about this before the season. I spoke endlessly about Terrion Arnold in the Lions secondary. Be patient. Patient. I knew this was going to come up. I knew it because you get Aiden Hutchinson, they called him a bust after week 1. We had Penei Sewell, they called him a bust after week 1. We get Jared Goff, they said he's a window licker. Folks, the coaching staff knows what they're doing. We got great coaches. They're coaching our players up. They're phenomenal. You got a guy in Brad Holmes that drafts the player, and you got this coaching staff from Dan Campbell all the way down to the smallest of coaches that are phenomenal coaching these players up. Trust in our coaching staff. B. I like that. I agree with you. A-, B. I would go with a B. I would say B. First he started as a C-, right? He's getting better. I'm going to go with the B. I think that's perfect. So you want to put B-, that's perfect. Scott, what is up? Let's see here. Hashtag FGB. What key players getting healthy again with current players that are contributing? Do you get a better wave? Good problems to have, but still sad to see good players go. Yeah, let me look at the roster really quick because it's going to be the back end of the Lions roster, so that's a great question. I probably should have looked at it before, but I was actually just not really going to do that until they come back. But let me get the teams here and tell you the back end of this roster, what I probably would think is going to happen. Okay, so if we're going to get an Emmanuel Mosley back, you could see a situation where they're not going to do that. But maybe they let go a guy like David Bada, right? That we don't use, or he's on IR, sorry. Pat O'Connor, that could be a situation. In Afutu Melifonwu, maybe they're like a Lauren Strickland, the safety. That could be a situation. Kindle Vildor, even though he's a veteran, I don't think they would release a veteran like him. That could be a situation right there. Shane Zylstra, I know we brought him back. He's in the back end of the roster. Players like that. I think that would kind of be the list if you're thinking. Same with Broderick Martin, so maybe 3. That's where the problem is if you're wanting to sign a player is you're going to have to release a guy. And in those guys I actually talked about has actually done a decent job. That's the weird list. Strickland, good on special teams. He's been doing. So it's difficult. We're getting back to that 53-man roster cut down thing where it's like, damn, you're going to cut a good player. Isaiah Williams, who we cut, goes to another team, and Pat O'Connor, who we signed, and you're like, who's this guy? He's actually been doing pretty decent for the Lions. So it's just like, man, but we got a great roster. And whoever we cut, I would say there's a 95% chance they don't make it to the practice squad, get picked up by another squad. So that's the problem, and that's the thing that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell's got to do here is when we formulate this roster, or if we're to release somebody, what's the odds that we can at least get that player back in the practice squad, right? Because, of course, when they do the release, they want this player to be back with this team. They want him on the practice squad. They're good players. So, but that's the problem. And now there's 31 other teams. If the Lions release a player, like, okay, even at the back end, it's the back end of the line, one of the best rosters in football. So the other team's going to poach it. Can JMO play a full season, or will the NFL interfere again? 9 drinks, my God, that's a great question. By the way, I hope you're doing well, my friend. I am doing well myself, and I actually got an idea I may text you a little bit later on that may help you out. With that said, I think he'll play a full season. Yes, I don't think he's going to get suspended for the pullover thing. It was a police officer's discretion. I think it was dumb. It's not even that big of a deal. Oh, you didn't have paperwork. Okay, so you have the license. You just didn't have the paperwork. The police officer let you go. What are you going to do? Change that? I think that's dumb, in all honesty. Look, I believe in the Second Amendment. I believe you have the right to own a gun. You got to do it legally. So he made a little bit of a boo-boo with not paperwork, but it's not like it's a criminal. Come on, man. So I don't think that's going to have anything bearing on it, like a suspension. Maybe he'll get a fine. Hashtag Mike, I'm kind of missing the live panel of you and the other Lions YouTubers. Guest more often. Yeah, I know. I got to do that. I actually talked. Mark Orem hit me up the other day and asked to get on, and then I was talking to Darcy. He's a Facebook guy, and the problem is I have my daughter so I have my daughter 50-50. She's my younger daughter, and so it's hard for me to I have to do it at specific times. My streams I got to do at specific times, and sometimes that doesn't work out with other people, right? So that's the problem. I definitely need to do it. It's no hate to those guys, but it's so busy. It's unbelievable, the personal life as well as work life. So I definitely got to do it. I've got to get the time. That's my bad. It's tough, man, because of the schedules. I appreciate it. Same with the Ant-Man, as someone said. It's the same thing. Because I'm not doing much of LNU anymore. As you know, you don't see me on there much. I really wanted this to occur. I've been working so much, I just couldn't. I don't have time to do that anymore. And so I wanted to give it off to someone else. And I'm part of Lions Nation United still, but I don't run the channel. That's more of Speakeasy. It's been Rax now, and it's been helping time. And so that's generally where I would do my stream with everybody, right? They would come in during that show on a Tuesday, but now I don't do it. So that's where it makes it a little bit difficult. So I do apologize for that. But again, you know, it's hard to juggle that many things. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Folks, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, appreciate everybody coming in, having a good one. I will see you on Sunday and be live for the game, Lions and Jaguars. It'll be noon is when I start the stream. Get ready for that. Tomorrow, video dropping 10:30 in the morning. With that said, folks, adios.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great.